Okay, this is the first video of a number of videos that will explain the exponent rules. This video goes along with a worksheet which you can print out, or you can get lined pieces of paper. So over here's the worksheet. It should look like this. If you follow along, you can do each question as I do it, and it has all the typing. So if you were to print this worksheet out, okay, if you print this one out, it's called on the top, it's called A1 Exponent Laws Part 1. If you print this out and follow the video, you can just label things and just put the answers down. Otherwise, you'll have to pause my video if you have a piece of paper, pause it at times, and make sure you can copy everything. So let's go to the video. The first part, if you're writing yourself, it's 2.1 exponent rules. We're going to learn how to multiply, divide, and the power exponents. When the video stops, it'll stop at a certain point. There'll be a second video after it, and there'll be another video after it in order to complete this whole presentation. The videos will be done in parts, or this lesson will be done in parts. So we're going to start off with our joke of the day. So here's the joke of the day. You've got your student and your teacher, and the student's looking at the board, and the teacher gets x equal to 3, and he says, "Just a darn minute. Yesterday you said x equals 2. Okay, so now we're going to move on. First, we've got a to the power of b, and you should have this on the worksheet. A to the power of b. The b up here is known as the exponent, so you can point an arrow to it and say exponent. The a here is the base. Okay, this whole thing together is known as a power. Okay, so on your sheet, you can label it similarly to this right here. If you need more time, you just pause the video. Now, when the exponent is 0, the value is 1. So when the exponent part, the top part here is 0, the value is 1. So we're going to evaluate 2 to the power of 6. So we're going to go to our calculator here. We're going to turn it on. We'll just clear everything. We'll go 2, and I have this button for power. So it's like a hack key. Some calculators have an A to the B key or B to the A. You'll have to find it on your calculator, and it's 2 to the power of 6, and you go enter, it's 64. Alternatively, what 2 to the power of 6 means that it's 2 times 2 times 2. There's 3 of them, 4 of them, 5 of them, 6 of them. So you multiply 2 6 times, and you get the same answer, 64. So you can either put 2 to the power of 6 and get 64, or multiply 2 6 times and get 64. So the first answer is 64. The next answer, 5 to the power of 4. Just hit enter, 625. So here it's 625. Okay, or you can go 5 times 5 times 5 times 5. Do it 4 times. 3 to the power of 4. Well, 3 to the power of 0. Look, when the exponent is 0, the value is 1. 1. I didn't have to use a calculator. But if I wanted to, 3 to the power of 0, and you get 1. In this case, I don't want a decimal here when you see this fraction. It's like 2 squared. It's 2 to the power of 2 divided by, and the square goes to the 5, 5 to the power of 2. Now, 2 to the power of 2 is like 2 times 2, so that's 4. And 5 to the power of 2 is like 5 times 5. It's 25. Okay, let's move on to the next sheet. If you need more time, just pause. Okay, here we have 3 squared times 3 cubed. So when they're side by side, it's a multiply. So let's see how our calculator does that. Here's how I would type it in. 3 to the power of 2 times 3 to the power of 3. So I would just type that into the calculator. Some of you might have a squared or a cube button, and you hit enter or equals on yours. 243, and that's our answer, 243. Similarly here, this one here is a divide. It's 2 to the power of 5, and it's divided by 2 to the power of 3. Again, you have to find the power button. If you don't have the power button, you can go 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2, 5 times, get an answer, and go 2 times 2 times 2, get an answer, and divide them. But the shortcut's just to put in the calculator, and you get 4. Or you see, you can do 32, you can do it separately. 2 to the power of 5 is 32, 2 to the power of 3 is 8, and you can divide, and you still get the same answer I got on my calculator by putting it directly, 4. Finally, this one I don't have to put in the calculator. I know it's to the power of 0, so I know the answer is 1. Okay, let's move on. I just want to mention that evaluate means find a number. Answer, simplify. Simplify means make the math question easier to do. Just make it smaller. It does not mean you have to find a number answer. You just have to make it smaller. So you do not have to find a numerical answer. Again, if you need to copy this, you can pause it. Otherwise, we're moving on and you can just read it on the sheet. Okay, when you multiply with the same base, so here's a rule. When you multiply with the same base, to simplify, add the exponents. So here, look, a and a is the same base, 3 and 9. So we're going to add 3 plus 9. So I'll just write it here. And I'll use a red color, that's fine. 3 plus 9. So I can use a calculator, or 3 plus 9 is 12. So if you're pretty good at math, 3 plus 9 is 12. So if we move that box, it should be 12, not 11. So let's just type and put the 12 correctly on the top. I guess I can't change it. I can. 12. So 3 plus 9 is 12. Here, 5 plus 3 is 8. So again, 3 plus 5 is 8. So you can just write the answer, 3 to the power of 8. You do not have to solve it. It just says simplify. It doesn't say evaluate. On the next one, they're both the same bases. 4 plus 6, you just add the top. 4 plus 6 is 10. And there you go, 4 to the power of 10. Okay. Here's one with fractions. So 2 to the 3 to the 3. Again, 2 to the 3 to the 4. Well, all you do is add the fraction. Add the numbers. 3 plus 4. So over here, 3 plus 4. So it's 7. So we can just leave the fraction, 2 to the power 3, and then just put a 7. So you just add the numbers. Okay, when you divide, here's another rule. When you divide with the same base, to simplify, subtract exponents. And again, this is meant to just follow the worksheet. If I'm going too fast, you hit the pause button to copy, or if you're copying this out on a piece of paper, you hit the pause button. Otherwise, if you have the worksheet, you can just fill in the answers. If you can print the worksheet, it works a lot better. So when you divide, so see the same base and you're dividing, you subtract. So here it's 8 minus 3. So if I do with a pen down here, 8 subtract 3, that's 5. So it's going to be 3 to the power of 5. Let's move the box, 3 to the 5. Now you're welcome to use a calculator if you don't know how to subtract these numbers. Here, 10 subtract 7. 10 subtract 7 is 3. So it's a to the power of 3. Here, 7 subtract 2. 7 subtract 2 is 5. So it's b to the power of 5. Okay, I'm going to stop this video at this time, and we're going to start another one to complete this. Okay, so again, you can play the second video to complete this lesson.